Alright, so we dug a big hole, and we already built one of the kelp farms. I was hanging out in voice chat with some of the server mates watching movies last night, and just did this while I was off to the side. Now I need to get some lights in here, I need to get the water and the kelp in here. Obviously we don't have the collection system, but we need to build another one right over here, and I'm going to have to gather a few more materials before I do that. I've got most of what I need. But not quite all of it. I need a few more pistons, observers, glass. So I'm going to get all that, and then we'll build here. I also need a few lights, so we're going to go collect those materials and come back and build this. This may be a little bigger than I need right now, and I've actually got quite a bit of room to expand that way if I want, but I've thought of something else we may put down here eventually too. So I'm going to go gather some materials, and we will be back. Alright, so we've got both of the farms built. They are both producing. Got kelp going into the streams. They're coming out here to the middle and dropping down one chute, which is collecting in these chests. So I've already got a whole shulker box, plus all of this. Now, this kelp doesn't do us a lot of good unless it's dried. So we're going to build the smelter part of this. So I'm going to do that. It's the same as I built in the past, but we're going to add a crafter element so that we don't have to do the blocks automatically. And then we'll have to figure out how to pump those blocks up to refuel not only this smelter, but the big one. So we got some work to do. I'll be back when I have figured that all out. Okay, so just wanted to follow up on a couple things. So over the years, this system has been pretty good, but I think a few things have broken. So if I get up here with the loading system, and the tutorial, the detector rail is here, and you put this system right under the piston, and then instead of having a block behind it, you put the torch directly behind it. You can't do that anymore because this detector rail will not measure this hopper. I don't know if it sits up higher or if they changed something, but that doesn't work anymore. So we've put the detector rail right here as the angled rail, and then put the same system, only we put the torch off to the side to power that block, but it works the exact same way. When this gets full, it triggers this system, which pulls the piston back and lets the cart go. So basically this whole thing has moved over one block with the exception of the piston, the fence, and then we add that block. This is all in the correct spot. The rest of this has moved that way one block. The other thing you can't do in the tutorial, there is a hopper right in this area above the minecart. That doesn't work either anymore. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to have this drop down into a water stream, which will come and end right on that block so that it spits the items down onto that glass block. If they go to that glass block, it'll pick it up. If you try to put it in a hopper, or if you have water there, it won't pick it up. So those are the two things we've changed. Other than that, you build this thing exactly like the tutorial. So we're going to, we've got the hoppers in here. We've run it around once, just to get it full, I think. Yeah, it filled this one up. It actually stopped here because we had something messed up, but we got it going again. So we're going to put in the fuel system. We're going to put in the extractor, I guess, hoppers. And then we'll put in the block making system, and we'll continue to work on this. Alright, so at this point we've got the whole system working. We've got a crafter down here, so it's making our kelp blocks. We're just putting them in a chest for now. We've loaded the system a couple of times, but it's going to take us a while to get it all loaded up. Seems to be keeping up fine, which is good. We are going to eventually put a water stream on this and load this chest automatically. I'll work on putting that in next, and then at some point, once this system is full, I want it to start sending blocks to the other smelter upstairs. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that yet, but I'll work on it. Just for bearings, so when we were coming down to our mine, this is where we were coming down to. So I may move these drop shafts a little bit because going down, up and down that ladder over there is becoming a pain. So I may move these over into the wall just a bit and get them out of the way, and then we'll have a way to this place that's easy to get to, and a way all the way down to our mine. So that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, we have our kelp system in. We have fuel for our smelter. So what's the next thing we need to work on? We need a lot of powered rails, and we used up a lot of our gold on this little smelter. So we're going to work on a gold farm, and we're going to do an overworld one. I've built a couple of these before, but the one thing I'm missing is turtle eggs. I spent 2 days or 2 nights this week getting lots and lots of obsidian. So we're going to have to go find some turtles and breed up a bunch of turtle eggs because we're going to need like a stack and a half of turtle eggs, roughly. Actually, more than that, almost 2 stacks of turtle eggs. So we're going to work on that next. And yeah, meanwhile, we'll let this smelt up and get caught up a little bit, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, a little bit of a progress update here. So we have been working for a couple hours, and we'll go down here. Now, this is not the greatest place to put this thing, but there's a reason I put it down here. We're going to go down this ladder. We have been working on our gold farm, and it's our overworld gold farm. And as you can see, we've got some big portals down here, and it is messy. I'll have to clean it up, but it's working. So we've got portals set up there. There's 20 portals, I believe, that are max size. 20 on this side as well. Let's not break the turtle eggs. Okay. Yeah, so we've got 20 max size portals going that way, 20 max size portals going this way. Piglins, the zombie piglins spawn in there. They try to get these eggs. They think they can because of the trapdoors, and then they fall down there. And they get sucked down into this general area. Eventually they fall, and they end up way down here. Now, I need to clean this up. And eventually, there's going to be a system that brings all these drops back up to the surface and sorts them and all that happy stuff. But for now, there's just this really bad way to get down here. And look at the drops. And I've already cleared this out once, and I need to get all these blocks out of here. Let's do that. But I've already gotten a whole stack of nuggets out of here. Or not nuggets. Bars out of here. So that's good. I think we're going to leave it at half for now. Because if we go back up top, I ran into a bit of a snag. And like I said, I've been working on this for several hours today. I spent several hours collecting obsidian and all the turtle eggs. So I've spent some time on this already. But I had to quit because we ran into a rather large obstacle. When you go up here, I really need a better way to get up here. I'm going to step on one of those turtle eggs. Yeah, if we go up here to where this ladder ends, I was getting ready to dig out the area back this way and then the one back on the other side, and this is what I ran into. A huge aquifer on both sides, and I don't feel like dealing with that tonight, so I think we're going to deal with half a gold farm for a while. Once we get our gold for all of our powered rails, I don't think I'm going to need to come back down here very much, honestly, or I don't think I'm going to have to get gold very fast. So we may just leave it like that. I do want to clean it up and make it look better and have better ways to get down here. But for now, we've got a working gold farm, so that's good. The other thing I wanted to update, if we go down over here to the kelp farm. The kelp farm's been running great. I've got to fix the iron farm. If we go down here, I filled this up a couple of times. I need to put some kind of automatic system on here. I want a system that will put kelp blocks into that hopper to fill the... Yeah, to fill these furnaces. And then when those are full, it sends it up to the other smelter. But I have to figure out how to do that yet. But for now, you can see it's not burning because there's no kelp in it. But we've got plenty of blocks. And we've got plenty of blocks down here. So we're doing fine. By the way, I love auto crafting. It's amazing. I had not used an auto crafter until right now, but I love it. Not having to come down here and get these into blocks has been absolutely amazing. I need a little bit more. So yeah, I'll keep that full, keep that running, but it's doing great so far. So that's that. That was quite a bit for today. I might work a little bit on those drop chutes on the wall over there just so I can get down here better. And then we'll see where we're at for time for this episode. Oh yeah, one other thing I should probably mention. We've got some horses now. We found this one first, and then we also got that one, the two with saddles on them. The other two I've bred up. I haven't tried to ride those yet. But this one right here, the spotted one, is actually a pretty good horse. And I needed a good horse because I had to go find a beach with turtles on it. And I found that right over here. So there's a portal here now. Our base is that way, quite a ways. But we've got a portal here now. We didn't have when we started. So when I first started, I just had, I think, 4 turtles. I had those 2, which I got a third eventually. And the other 2 are over here. And I've been breeding these guys up. Now, this little environment of theirs, I had plenty of time while I was waiting. Every time I breed them, I think it's a 5-minute cooldown. So I had plenty of time to expand their little enclosure here. I actually built that little pool. If you look underneath, there's nothing under here. Oh, hello. What are you guys doing down here? I might have to try and get them up top. But anyway, yeah, so they've got some water they can swim around in a little bit. They've got grass. They've got beach. They seem to be pretty happy in it. Started building some palm trees in my spare time. We may go ahead and decorate this all up at some point. I also want to get more turtles in here, so I may breed these guys up. The problem is, I think they only breed it, or the eggs only hatch at nighttime, because they didn't seem to be making any progress. And, you know, we're on a server with 1 person sleep, so unless I tell everybody not to sleep for several days, which I think would be rude, we're just going to have to wait till I'm on the server by myself to get that. But now there's a nice, easy way, and this portal is right down the road from our nether portal. So in the nether, if I look down that way, that's the portal to our base. That's the main hallway back to spawn. So we just have it here. I need to label it, really. So yeah, so there's the updates on some things I've done while collecting resources and etc. And let's see what else we can get up to. Alrighty, we have done an AFK session at the gold farm, and I think we've got all the gold we need. I think I needed about 10 stacks of rails, and that should be about 10 stacks of rails, almost 11. And we'll get a few more before we actually get there. But that's the good news. The bad news is, when I went AFK last night, there was 41 turtle eggs lined up on these 2 sides. And as you can see now, there is none. I'm not sure what happened. Obviously, I got a lot of gold, so they weren't missing. They were, whatever happened fairly late in the session. But we're going to have to put them back. And so I guess we're going to have to protect them a little bit. And I think what I'll do is we'll put them in here, and then we'll put up something on the backside. I think what probably happened is there was a little bridge right here. Something probably spawned back there somewhere and came walking up and just had a heyday. Whatever it was, had a lot of fun. But yeah, so we're going to put those eggs back. We are still producing gold. I mean, you can still see the piglins are walking off naturally, but that's not going to be good enough. So we're going to replace those, and yeah, and then this thing should work again. Alright, so we've replaced all of our eggs. We put some glowstone underneath them, raised them up a level. We've put some slabs over the top, so that should keep things from getting in. And then we put a bunch of trapdoors around the back, just to keep anything out that if a baby zombie or something would get in here. So there shouldn't really be, I even put things on the side, there really shouldn't be any way anything can get in here. Yeah, so I think we got it protected now, so it should work a lot better and continue to work. Yeah, so that's that. All right, and with that, I think it's time we start building a smelter. And so on, and so on, and so on. And what you end up with is this monstrosity. Now, I will be full disclosure here. It is probably 5 months from when that last footage was shot because we built this thing to make glass to work on the nether hub, and I've been doing that for 5 months, and it's done. But we'll reveal that in the next episode. But what we ended up with is this smelter. So I'll go up here. This is where all the action happens, and then we'll work our way down. So basically what happens is we put whatever you want to smelt in there, and it comes up under that trapdoor, and you just pick it up by hand, and you can dump it back in. So you can see we've done a whole bunch of glass. I did probably another batch at least this big that I also dyed red. This is in case you have, well, it's got netherrack in it. In case you have a full inventory like this, when you come up here, you can dump your extra stuff in here. So that's why I left that. But the way this kind of works, and this is a Tango Tech design that I will post the link to the vid. But basically, you put your items in the chest. They get pulled out by those 2 hopper minecarts, which distribute the items to 4 hoppers, which then go into 4 chests. So each one of these minecarts is feeding 2 chests, 1 on each side. They fill up as fast as they can. These items fill with these carts fill with items. They go down and around. They load all these furnaces. They come back. They load up again. They go down and come back. Now, this is run just by a timer. This one right here. So, basically, they'll sit here for a certain amount of time, fill up with items, and then go down and around. So, that's what happens. And this is 256 furnaces. I do a couple of things different than Tango Tech did. He dumped all his back into a chest. I'm not doing that. The items get smelted. I'm going to sleep before I get overwhelmed. Never mind, I won't sleep. Okay, so we were looking at the emptying system. So these hoppers pull the finished items out of the furnaces. We have over half a stack of blocks in here, so it's filling up, which is nice. I'll go over that here in a minute. But those items end up in these droppers, which spit into that water stream. Those water streams end up here, and they go up and they hit the bottom of that trapdoor, and that's when you can pick them up. So that's how the smelter works pretty much. And like I said, I will link the video to Tango Tech's Tunny's having trouble with her iron farm. This item here, I will show downstairs because this is something I've added in the last couple months. So let's go over that downstairs. Alrighty, so we are back down here, and we've put a bunch of stuff in on the smelter. What happens here is it makes the blocks, it puts those blocks over here. They go into this water stream, they go up there, and then usually they'll dump over to that soul sand, which ends up in a hopper and ends up into that minecart, and then it gets distributed. But because we have a kelp block here, this circuit right here goes all the way back across, switches those pistons, and now instead of dumping into the soul sand block, it's dumping down into this water stream, which goes all the way down there along the back wall and up to the big smelter, where we have a very similar system. So it goes up, it'll distribute around the smelter to put fuel in. As you can see, it had half a stack already. If it ever gets full up there, there's a circuit that'll lock it and start dumping the blocks into this chest. And eventually I will put a shulker box loader down here. I just haven't yet. But that's how it works. I didn't explain it very well. Basically, as it fills this, when this hopper gets full, then it will kick the minecart off, which will go down and back twice and put an entire stack of kelp blocks in here. But as soon as we end up with a kelp block that stays here, it will lock this circuit. So, and switch the piston so that the water stream dumps that way instead of into that soul sand. And then this circuit here just kicks the cart off when it's, well, when that hopper's full. So, yeah, a little bit of a complex system to get what I wanted, but It is so much nicer, whoops, to be able to make blocks and have that furnace fill itself. It was always such a pain. As good as this setup has been for me in the past, it was always such a pain to make the blocks, fill this up, then let it fill. You know, I'd have time I'd come down here, it'd be empty, and I'd just have kelp blocked out. So that's nice. So that's that. So now that we have the smelter, and everything's up and working, we made the glass, and we were ready to build the nether hub. But I think we'll save that for another episode. For now, we've got all of the infrastructure in. We've got a good start on our base. I'm trying to move my iron farm, which isn't working right now. So I'll work on that some more, and then hopefully we'll get that ice ore off the surface. But I think that's going to be it for now. Until next time, Rogue Torso out.